Hi, I'm Andrea Ocampo for Hispanicize 2013, coming to you from Miami Beach. Now in its fourth year, Hispanicize has brought innovative minds, social media experts, journalists, bloggers, and national brands together to this iconic event.
How's everyone doing? Just good?
Great.
All right, great. Let's try that again. How's everyone doing? Fabulous? Yeah, phenomenal? All right, my name is Felecia. I'm one of the chief popsicles of a company called Feverish Ice Cream and Gourmet Pops based in Miami. I am also the author of How to Start a Business on a Ramen Noodle Budget and the founder of Black Tech Miami. And according to my high school guidance counselor, I'm not even supposed to be here with you today. Can you believe that? According to this same high school guidance counselor, I was never supposed to go to college or be honored at the White House as being one of the top 100 entrepreneurs under the age of 30, become an author, build a business. Woo! According to this high school guidance counselor, I was never supposed to do any of that. Because if you could major or minor in anything in high school, I majored and minored in the 2 B's. Does anyone want to take a guess? Throw something at me. 2 B's.
Basketball.
Basketball was one.
Be there.
Huh?
Be there.
Not exactly.
Band.
Something less like, you know, constructive.
Boys.
That's it right there. Yes. So if you could major or minor in anything in high school, unfortunately I majored and minored in boys and basketball. So I spent all my time on the telephone or playing basketball, which left very little time for schoolwork. So as a result, by the end of my freshman year of high school, my GPA had dropped down to a 2.1, which is pretty ugly, right? That's like, we're gonna register you for dropout prevention class. It's ugly. And I knew I wanted to go to college. Moreover, I knew I had to go to college because I have a Jamaican mother, and you're either going to college or you're going to the military. That's what she told myself and my brother all our life. And I go to meet with my guidance counselor, fast forward to my senior year, and I'm standing in front of this lady and I'm sharing my hopes and dreams with her. Hey, I want to go to the University of Central Florida. Please kind of guide me on the yellow brick road to success. And so she looks at me, she looks at the computer screen, she looks back at me, and what do you think she says? Not gonna happen, right? Something a little more harsh. She said, Felecia, you will never make it to college or a university. You should just try to get into a vocational school, or maybe try and get a job. And it was at that moment, yes, I had stumbled. It stumbled so hard, yes, down to a 2.1. But it was at that moment, at 17, where because of my failure, someone else tried to define what the rest of my life was going to be like. And yes, because I didn't fit inside of that 3.5 or 4.0 bubble, that didn't mean that I couldn't be successful. That didn't mean that I couldn't jump back. That didn't mean that I couldn't apply for every single scholarships just to prove this lady wrong and end up winning $120,000 in scholarships as a C student. But it was at that moment, and raise your hand if anyone in your life has ever tried to define your life. Yeah? And keep your hands up if you dedicated your book to that person. Just me? All right. But guys, what I really want to talk to you about, one of my favorite poems by Marianne Williamson, who talks about how we're more afraid of our light than our darkness. And what I honestly think is not enough of us actually share our darkness and share our failure stories. I was reading an article recently that talked about only 7% of startups these days actually make it. So what happens to the other 93%? It's usually that one little thing that stops them from continuing to go. That first hurdle that they come across, that first obstacle. And maybe if the media didn't spend so much time on talking about the overnight success, or the 12-year overnight success, right? And really focus on telling the true stories of what really happens as an entrepreneur. Because when you get to that point where, like me, where I found myself about 4 years ago, starting a business, buying 2 ice cream carts off the luxury shopping website Craigslist, not really knowing what to do other than having this crazy idea that I got after chasing after an ice cream truck in heels and falling flat on my face and deciding that, hey, someone needs to come up with a cooler way for adults to enjoy ice cream, so you don't have to chase after it in your heels. But having no money because I was laid off from Nintendo as a marketing manager, not only was I laid off, but my husband was laid off at the exact same time. Let's start a business, right? That makes us smile and makes other people smile every single day. But not knowing exactly what I was getting into, because the full extent of my food experience was working at McDonald's at 16. I started this business, started buying equipment, things started to roll, started to get really nice contracts with Tyco and even Google and making popsicles for them, and I run out of money. Devastated. Didn't know what to do. And at the same time I ran out of money, some company wants to pay me $75,000 to drive around the country promoting cheese. I'm like, okay, I can't pay myself or my bills, and here's an easy escape. And looking at all the magazines and looking into the newspapers and what's on TV is the success story. So as I'm in my house and not wanting to leave my bed for about 3 weeks, devastated because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This is not supposed to happen. I am not supposed to fail. And I go and I tell my dad, like, Dad, I'm thinking about leaving for, maybe a year, and then I'll come back to the business. And he said, you're in debt. I was in about $30,000 in debt. He's like, at one point, I had run my business into $300,000 in debt. And until you get on my level, you take that ice cream cart out and you sell some popsicles. And it was that story, that human story, that I really needed to hear, that failing, oftentimes you feel so alone, like you're the only one. And that failing was a part of the process. And it's a process that we have to trust and embrace. And so many of us don't, because we feel so alone when it does happen. And I really challenge each and every one of you guys to share your failure story with someone else. And trust me, I have many. Right? We can go to Starbucks and I'll share quite a few with you. But share your story, be vulnerable with someone else, because you never know if that's that one thing that will help us, decrease that percentage of entrepreneurs that don't make it. It's a very unique kind of fraternity that we're in as entrepreneurs. And it's a hard, hard road. I would never tell anyone it's easy, but it's been the most rewarding experience I've ever been through it in my life. But I fail every single day. I'm sure as you as entrepreneurs, there's something that you didn't do today that you were supposed to do. But I challenge each and every one of you to help me change the landscape of entrepreneurship in our communities by sharing your failure story with others. Thank you.
Round means the world to the Latino community.
I mean, the connections, everyone here, it's been a great event.
Developing those relationships with those people, it's great.
Coming together for empowerment of our community, what more can I ask for?
Hispanicize 2013 has been an event like no other, confirming the power of uniting a multicultural community that strives for success by utilizing digital media and creating a growing network that has no boundaries. The Hispanicize 2013 experience has been incredible. Now the official countdown for Hispanicize 2014 begins now.